For the first time in history, the world's most powerful economies are gathering in Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa, November 22nd to 23rd, 2025. The G20 Summit lands on African soil. A moment long overdue. A moment that could redefine how the world views Africa and how Africa views itself. The streets are alive with anticipation, and the air carries a sense of historic possibility. This isn't just another summit. It's a shift in power, in perception, and in purpose. Because when the G20 meets in Johannesburg, the world will finally see Africa not as a frontier, but as a force. Why does this moment matter? Because it's symbolic and strategic. The G20's arrival in Johannesburg signals a changing world order, one where the global South is no longer an observer, but a shaper of global policy. For decades, decisions about Africa's future were made in rooms far away from the continent. Now those rooms have moved closer to the source of the story, from climate change to debt relief, from trade access to digital innovation. Africa is no longer waiting to be invited. It's hosting the table. The message is clear. Africa's time is not coming. Africa's time is now. At the heart of the Johannesburg Summit lies a bold agenda, one built around reform, resilience, and representation. 1. Global debt reform. Developing nations, many from Africa, are carrying debt burdens that stifle growth. The push in Johannesburg will be for fairer, more flexible debt restructuring frameworks, allowing nations to invest in their people rather than just their repayments. Leaders are expected to discuss an Africa Debt Accord, a framework to balance fiscal responsibility with development urgency. 2. Infrastructure and industrial growth. From the Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway to Nigeria's new deep-sea ports, Africa's infrastructure momentum is real. The G20 aims to expand investment partnerships to bridge Africa's $100 billion annual infrastructure gap, unlocking trade corridors that connect the continent to Europe, Asia, and beyond. 3. Digital trade and innovation. In a world increasingly powered by data, Africa's youthful, tech-driven population is its greatest asset. Johannesburg will see talks on digital inclusion, cross-border payment systems, and secure data flows, vital to building a fair digital economy. 4. Global South priorities. For years, the Global South has called for a more equitable international order, one where voices from the developing world shape solutions. In 2025, this summit will push for reform at the IMF, World Bank, and WTO, ensuring representation aligns with today's economic realities. Hosting the G20 is more than a diplomatic milestone. It's a declaration of confidence. For African citizens, it's a sign that the continent's narratives are changing, from aid to agency, from crisis to creation. It also challenges global assumptions. Europe and North America are watching closely, because Africa's rise doesn't mean isolation. It means interdependence, trade, energy, migration, technology. The global future runs through Africa's success. By the end of the Johannesburg Summit, the world could see tangible shifts, not just word, but frameworks, investments, and commitments that shape the next decade. Debt and finance reform. If successful, debt restructuring deals could unlock billions in fiscal space, giving African nations room to fund schools, roads, and renewable energy projects without default risk. Integrating 1.3 billion people under a unified trade zone, with new agreements linking Africa to Europe and Asia. Sustainable energy transition, a central theme of this summit, how to fund Africa's clean energy transition fairly. Africa contributes less than 4% of global emissions, but faces some of the harshest climate impacts. The call from Johannesburg is for climate justice, real financing, not promises, global governance reform. Perhaps the boldest agenda point, a seat for the African Union as a permanent member of the G20, following India's push in 2023. This move could mark the dawn of a truly inclusive world order, a system where every voice matters. For Europe and the UK, Johannesburg is a moment of reflection. Africa is no longer a passive trading partner. It's an emerging hub for growth, innovation, and diplomacy. European industries now rely heavily on African minerals, digital partnerships, and climate collaboration. For British businesses, the G20 signals new opportunities and new competition in renewable energy, fintech, and agricultural trade. In short, this summit isn't just about Africa's rise. It's about how the rest of the world chooses to rise with it, in partnership or in rivalry. In Johannesburg, global leaders won't just discuss numbers and policies. They'll be forced to confront something deeper, the moral economy of our time. Can we build a world where development is shared, not hoarded? Where technology empowers, not divides? Where the South is not spoken for, but speaks for itself? The answers may not all come in 2 days, but history will remember where the conversation began, right here in the heart of Africa. To stay informed with data-driven analysis, forecasts, and insights from experts across the Global South, visit nexusinsight.org.